This is your 24-hour news station, WHAS-TV, Louisville.
From News 11, the Hunter Rowland Report with Lee Hunter and Ken Rowland. The Kentuckiana weather forecast with Linda Steele and Paul Rogers with sports.
Good evening, everyone. On tonight's action report.
From News 11, the Hunter Rowland Report with Lee Hunter and Ken Rowland. Meteorologist Chuck Taylor with the weather and Paul Rogers with the sports. Brought to you in part by Kentucky's largest Savings and Loan Association, the 11 offices of Greater Louisville First Federal Savings.
Good evening. I'm Ken Rowland.
And I'm Lee Hunter.
From News 11, the Hunter Rowland Report with Lee Hunter and Ken Rowland. The Kentuckiana weather forecast with Linda Steele. And Mike James with sports. From News 11, this is the Weekend Report with Jane Van Ryan and Byron Crawford. The official weather report with Dick Gilbert. And the sports with Paul Rogers.
Action 11, Kentuckiana's #1 news broadcast, with Jim Mitchell and Kirsty Wild, Dave Conrad with sports, and Chuck Taylor with the weather.
Good evening. I'm Jim Mitchell.
And I'm Kirsty Wild. Traffic is running pretty smoothly tonight.
Action 11, Kentuckiana's leading news broadcast, with Chuck Taylor, Dave Conrad, and Jim Mitchell.
The word is snow. Once again, a big storm is hitting Kentucky and southern Indiana.
Action 11, Kentuckiana's #1 news broadcast, with Jim Mitchell and Kirsty Wild, Dave Conrad with sports, and Chuck Taylor with the weather.
Hi, I'm Kirsty Wild.
And I'm Jim Mitchell.
Action 11, Kentuckiana's #1 news broadcast, with Jim Mitchell and Jackie Hayes, Chuck Taylor with weather, and Dave Conrad with sports.
Action 11 at noon, with Michelle Holden, Ken Schultz's weather, and Paul Rogers with sports.
Good afternoon. I'm Michelle Holden.
The Action 11 News Morning Report with Mark Pfeiffer.
Good morning, everyone. At 12 minutes before the hour, it is clear 48 degrees in Kentuckiana.
Action 11 News with Melissa Forsythe, Ken Schultz's weather, Paul Rogers with sports, and Fred Wishy's farm report.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Melissa Forsythe. Jefferson.
Action 11 News with Mark Pfeiffer, Gene West, Ken Schultz's weather, Paul Rogers with sports, and Fred Wishy's farm report.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Pfeiffer.
And I...
Action 11 News with Jim Mitchell, Melissa Forsythe, Chuck Taylor's weather, and Dave Conrad with sports.
Good evening. I'm Jim Mitchell.
And I'm Melissa Forsythe.
Action 11 News Night Team with Gary Rodemeyer, Melissa Forsythe, Chuck Taylor's weather, and Dave Conrad with sports.
Good evening. I'm Melissa Forsythe. Gary has the night off.
Action 11 News is next on WHAS-TV, Louisville.
Action 11 News is sponsored by First National Bank, coming through for you. Action 11 News with Gary Rodemeyer, Melissa Swan, Chuck Taylor's weather, and Dave Conrad with sports.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Melissa Swan.
WHAS-TV, Louisville. Action 11 News with John McGrath, Gary Rizzo's weather, and Gary Montgomery with sports.
Good evening. I'm John McGrath. At least 5 people have been injured.
Action 11 News Night Team, next on WHAS-TV.
Good evening. I'm Melissa Forsythe.
And I'm Gary Rodemeyer.
Now, from WHAS-TV, this is Action 11 News Night Team. Now, from WHAS-TV, this is Action 11 News Night Team. Indiana's 24-hour news channel, WHAS 11. Live at noon, from the leader in television news, Gene West and Mark Pfeiffer. This is Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11.
Fire kills 1 person, injures 6 in New Albany this morning.
This is Kentuckiana's 24-hour news channel, WHAS 11. Live at noon, from the leader in television news, Gene West. This is Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11.
Today's low has hit -10 outside earlier today, a new record for today temperature-wise. Good afternoon, Kentuckiana. You're now looking at live pictures this morning and this afternoon from Sky 11. As you can see,
this is Kentuckiana's 24-hour news channel, WHAS 11. Live at 5 from the leader in television news, Gene West, Julie Koenig with the job file, and Chuck Taylor. This is Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11. Live at 5 from the leader in television news, Gene West, Julie Koenig with On the Job, and Storm Team Weather with Chuck Taylor. This is Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11.
You are looking at live pictures as fire rages through a distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky.
This is Kentuckiana's 24-hour news channel, WHAS 11. Live at 5:30 from the leader in television news, Gene West and Doug Proffitt with the Proffitt Report. This is Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11. This is Kentuckiana's 24-hour news channel, WHAS 11. Live at 6 from the leader in television news, Gary Rodemeyer and Melissa Swan. This is Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11.
So don't make any noise or we'll shoot you.
2 young women who say they were forced at gunpoint to get into the trunk of their car.
This is Kentuckiana's 24-hour news channel, WHAS 11. Live at 6 from the leader in television news, Donna Lacey, Jeff Lifson, and Beth Andrews. This is Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11.
I just came through town and I cried. I mean, it's very upsetting to see all the trees and everything.
11.
This is Kentuckiana's 24-hour news channel, WHAS 11. Live at 6:30 from the leader in television news, Rachel Platt, Gary Montgomery, and Ashley Chisholm. This is Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11.
Oh, it's like a tornado in there.
This is Kentuckiana's 24-hour news channel, WHAS 11. Live at 11 from the leader in television news, Gary Rodemeyer, Melissa Swan, and Chuck Taylor. This is Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11.
We look at Cleveland, Ohio, and say a little thank you that it isn't Louisville. But we can all sympathize with their misery.
This is Kentuckiana's 24-hour news channel, WHAS 11. Live at 11, from the leader in television news, Donna Lacey, Jeff Lipson, and Beth Andrews. This is Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11. Ashley Chisholm and Carrie Kinsey. This is Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11.
It's a miracle.
You're watching continuing storm team coverage of Flood 97 on Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11. WHAS 11. This is Kentuckiana's news channel. Now, live Saturday morning.
And on this Saturday morning, it's a day after Christmas, so of course, we are live at a store where all the bargains are. It happens to be the Target on Westport Road in St. Matthews.
From Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11. This is a special Derby 124 presentation of Live Saturday morning.
And you're looking at the Humana hair balloon. It's up and ready to take off for the great balloon race.
You're watching Doug Proffitt, Brooke Willis, Reed Yaden Storm Team Forecast, and Fred Wishy, the Weekend Gardener. This is Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11. WHAS 11. This is Kentuckiana's news channel. Now, live at 5.
Firefighters battle ablaze.
Now, Kentuckiana's most dependable news. This is WHAS 11 News. Coverage you can count on. From WHAS 11 News, this is coverage you can count on. Live from WHAS 11 News, this is coverage you can count on. Live from WHAS 11 News, this is coverage you can count on.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Melissa Swan.
And I'm Gary Rowland. First tonight at 11 o'clock, we have some breaking news to tell you about.
You're watching Gary Rodemeyer, Melissa Swan, Ken Schultz, Storm Team Forecast, and Gary Gupton, Sports. This is WHAS 11 News. Coverage you can count on.
A homecoming for 8 of 10 American missionaries jailed in Haiti for the last 3 weeks, while 2 others, though, are still in jail.
The chase unfolds. Sky 11 is there as police surround the man's vehicle, bust out his window, and pull their guns. We'll tell you what he was arrested for coming up.
I think it's unfortunate. It's kind of scary.
750 jobs being cut at Humana here in Louisville alone, what it means for those people and our city's economy. And good Thursday morning, Kentuckiana. I'm Rachel Platt.
And I'm Andy Trinan. It has been days since we got...
Good evening, everyone. I'm Gary Rodemeyer.
And I'm Melissa Swan. First tonight... Good evening, everyone. I'm Melissa Swan. Thanks for joining us here at 10 o'clock. Doug Proffitt has the night on.
And good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Melissa Swan. Our big story tonight here at 6 o'clock.
Right now on 11 at 11, new developments on that tragic accident at the 2nd Street Bridge. A young woman hit and killed by a cement truck. WHAS 11 News has learned the family has now filed a civil suit. We'll go over the claims in a live report.
And will he or won't he? Could Agriculture Commissioner James Comer become Kentucky's new governor? He sits down one-on-one with WHAS 11 to talk about the buzz.
Plus, they say they're being threatened with an eviction notice. A family at the center of a tragic fatal fire, but their landlord says, hold on, that's not the case. 11 at 11 begins right now.
On your side, this is WHAS 11 News.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us here at 11 o'clock. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Melissa Swan. Just weeks after a tragic accident.
Well, Kentucky teachers outraged today, rallying in Frankfort over changes made to their pensions, upset by how it all played out.
It takes a village to raise a child, and this village needs to start raising our children.
First here on 11 at 11, a big change for a popular Louisville nightclub that's also been the site of numerous shootings. The changes the owner is promising. Plus, the migrant caravan now at the U.S. border, and U.S. agents are using tear gas to subdue the crowds. We will take you there right now on 11 at 11.
Well, gusty showers moving through Kentuckiana late on this Sunday evening. The big story heading into Monday will be much colder air. Your Storm Team forecast is on the way.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us here tonight at 11. And first tonight,
Louisville, Kentucky.